Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's me again, Insane Gorilla, and welcome back to my channel. This is What If Naruto Was a Kitsune, son of Kyuubi and son of Kushina. So, you may be asking, why is he the son of Kyuubi and Kushina? Well, Kushina in this would be the lover of Kyuubi. In fact, she wanted Kyuubi to be freed. She found out his name was Kurama and found out that it was a he and had a human form. Now, I know this isn't part of canon for the Naruto universe, but the Biju are actual people who were given the power from the Sage of Six Paths, given mass amounts of chakra from the Jubi, and Kurama was born then. But since they became, well, Biju, aka demons, their names were stripped, their pasts were stripped from them as well. All of them wanted their previous memories gone, and were given the name of Shikaku all the way up to Kyuubi, or Kurama, and given all of their powers from the Sage of Six Paths himself. So Kushina found out all about that. Kurama had forgotten all about his past, and he could never figure it out again. And truthfully, he was glad he didn't. And when Kushina offered him freedom, he asked what was the catch. And Kushina only showed her bare body off, saying, a child. Childbirth will weaken the seal and you can come out. And so Kurama proceeded to mark Kushina. Kushina asked why, and Kurama said that will make her body more durable to his chakra, not knowing that him putting his chakra in her turned her into a female nine-tailed fox, with equal nine-tailed status. And when she, was ready for mating, she mated with Kurama. But it also meant that the seal, after she had transformed into a nine-tailed kitsune, had broken, and he was able to get out. This intro is getting a little bit long, but I need to explain. So Kurama and Kushina, mated, and, after having her fill of, Biju enhanced chakra into her womb, a baby was forming. And this, I'm going to say, had to happen over at least 5 years. Kushina was 15 when she got the Biju mark, and when she had officially turned, she was a full-fledged kitsune, hiding her ears and tails. And when she was pregnant, she got pregnant after she fully transformed into a kitsune, which only took around about 4 months to do. So Kushina birthed their firstborn. She called him Naruto. But unlike canon, when Madara took the child, Kurama got sealed into Naruto. But unlike in canon, Kushina fell into a deep slumber. Nobody knew she was a kitsune. Sarutobi And Minato knew, but nobody else knew. Mainly because Kushina showed that she was now full-blooded kitsune, and she also showed that she was pregnant by when she transformed into a human, fox form, showing them then transformed back into a human form. They could see that her belly was obviously slightly bulged, showing that she was bearing an offspring. But this only happened over the last couple of months of the gestation period, where a baby has finally finished forming, and is now just, Kushina is now just waiting for the baby to come out. So it made it look like she was quite the way along. And Kurama had already come out of her anyway, directly as she was giving birth. Kyuubi came out. It hurt Kushina, but since she's now, a full-blooded Biju with the form of her original self, she lived, but had to go into a deep slumber to re-heal. Now this has gone on for way too long. This is almost 6 minutes long as an intro. See you all in the next one. Peace. By extension, like, comment, subscribe. We'll continue the story now. Okay, sorry about that. I also failed to mention this is also going to be in canon, and since Kurama was used to attack Konoha again, Naruto is still going to be hated. But Sarutobi kept not only his heritage of being the son of a Biju and the Red Death, who turned into a kitsune, he also kept his mother away from him. Sure, his mother was alive, but she was in a heavily deep coma. He had no idea when she was going to wake up. I should have mentioned that. But in the forest, a blonde boy, whose hair should really be in between a red and orange colour, would be hopping through the forest. He would then end up near a shack with a scroll that contained many secrets and many dangerous jutsu that was considered dangerous and forbidden. The scroll's name, Forbidden Scroll of Sealing. Or the Forbidden Scroll of Seals, and not sealing. Naruto would roll it out, wanting a jutsu to use to pass this, graduation test that was fake. And he didn't know that. Although something in his mind told him that this was fake and he shouldn't have done this. Naruto would ignore that part of his mind and continue working through it. Finally finding something. Dead Demon Seal Release. Seemed interesting. Next one. Shadow Clone Jutsu. Another clone jutsu, but it was something that he could possibly use considering his clones were always sickly and dying. He thought to himself that maybe he can get Mizuki, his teacher, who gave him this, extracurriculum test, to pass him. And so he would train in the clone jutsu. Inside him, however, red eyes would open as chakra was being used in mass quantities. A nine-tailed fox with dark orange fur would open a way to see through the eyes of the person he's in. As he'd see, clones. Tons and tons and tons of clones. A toothy smile would grace its lips, as all it could say was, My. I never knew I would be a blonde boy. As he would just chuckle. As he would sniff. As his eyes would, soften. Soon, Kit. Soon. We'll meet face to face. As he would close his eyes, but keep his hearing out. As he would wince as he would hear Naruto, what have you done? As he would just moan out, saying, oh man, I should have paid attention more often. Humans are so annoying. As he would then open up another gateway to his eyes, seeing a man with dark brown hair, a kind of forehead that's scratched in several places, a tuning green flak jacket, Ombu styled pants and t-shirt underneath, with a kunai holster and some bandages around his leg. Right leg, to be precise. As Naruto would chuckle, saying, hey Iruka, I did it, now you're going to have to pass. I've done a jutsu from the Forbidden Scroll, now you just have to pass me from this, extra curriculum test, which causes Mizuki and the Nine Tails to perk up. As the Nine Tails would say, wait, Kushina said there was never such a... oh shit. As Mizuki would try to kill him. Of course, the whole spiel happens. The fight between Mizuki and Iruka would happen, like verbally speaking, before Mizuki gets punched in the face by a transformed Iruka, who punched Mizuki in the face, causing him to go out of the Iruka disguise he was in, like in canon. Mizuki pretty much blurts out the S-rank secret that Naruto is the Kyuubi. This kind of pisses off Kurama, because he even screams it in Naruto's mind that he is not the Kyuubi. The Kyuubi was taller than the boy, he's short. He does not have fox ears or fox tails. Naruto doesn't hear him because obviously the seal is kind of stopping him from actually mentally talking to his son. So Naruto doesn't hear him screaming that his own son is not him. Like every child, they want to get out of their parents' shadow. And this filthy human doesn't deserve to call his son a monster. The real monster are the ones who try to kill innocent children. He may be a gigantic nine-tailed fox, but even he wouldn't kill children. He is not a psychopathic murderer like Shikaku. He is his own being. He is Kurama, Kitsune. He took the Kitsune last name because, again, he doesn't remember his actual name when he was human. So he gave himself Kurama Kitsune as a last name. And since the Sage of Six Path gave him the name of Kurama, like new life, new names, new lives. Nobody can really stop that from happening. So, after that rant, you'd hear that Iruka's parents were killed because of him. And Iruka said yes, he hates the Kyuubi, but Naruto isn't the Kyuubi. This makes Kyuubi give him a round of applause for actually seeing that his son is not him. Although, here's where canon kind of diverges. Naruto really is pissed off now because Iruka is hurt because of him. Mizuki tricked him because he wanted power, and he just even heard that he said Lord Orochimaru would love to experiment on the kid because he had the Kyuubi. Once he has killed Iruka, he's going to take the scroll, knock out the kid, and take him directly to Lord Orochimaru. Aruka says he will not let that happen. When Aruka goes to attack, Mizuki pretty much dodges him and stabs him in the side with a kunai, laced with a poison that would kill him within a few days at most. And it will cause him excruciating pain. But luckily, only a regular ninja with medical training like Anbu could actually remove the poison. And since Anbu are all over the place looking for Naruto, they don't exactly know where he is. So Naruto just runs out there and kicks Mizuki in the face, saying, "If you dare hurt Aruka Sensei again, I'll kill you." Mizuki just laughs, saying, Do your worst, demon. I can put you down with one hand tied behind my back. You're just as weak as Aruka, for I have been training always." As Aruka would see Naruto do a hand sign and shouts Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Kurama inside Naruto's mind would laugh his ass off, looking at Mizuki's confident demeanour just suddenly go slack-jaw and terrified, as he tries to actually count the thousands of clones just looking directly at Mizuki, as one of them would shout, "What's the matter, Mizuki-sensei? You said you're going to kill us with just one hand tied behind your back." As no one would speak, "I would think you're lying about it." As another would speak, saying, "You're just a big dumb idiot." As another would speak, upside down on a tree, saying, "Yeah, we're a lot smarter than we look." As another would speak, "You know who's really dumb though? You. If I were you, I would have already ran. I would have forgotten about the forbidden scroll thingamajiggy. I would have just pegged it." As another would speak, "Oh wait, you're an absolute moron for staying." As the original would just shout, "Tackle him, boys!" And one screaming Mizuki later, beaten, battered, bruised, and feeling all sorts of wrong with just orange on his mind, saying, the person who sold him that orange jumpsuit, 1,000 deaths with you, because bloody hell, I am most probably going to have nightmares about orange, orange, orange. As the Anbu kind of felt the huge amount of chakra. Unknowingly to Naruto, he actually tapped into the Kyuubi's power itself. So the Anbu were immediately alerted to Naruto's location. Naruto, who doesn't know anything about medical stuff, sees Aruka actually holding onto the kunai. Naruto just put the scroll down and ran up to him, asking him what does he want him to do, how can he help. Naruto even tore off his own, a large chunk of his jumpsuit t-shirt. No, top actually. Or jumper, sorry. As he wraps it around the kunai, hoping to squeeze it in, hoping to squeeze any blood out that must be infected with something. As Aruka just coughs, saying slowly, or quickly, rapidly yank out the kunai. I'll do the rest. Before Naruto could even do that, he is pulled away by a masked Anbu member. I'm just going to be saying it here, it's Nico from Team Ro. As Nico pulls him away, she immediately yanks out the kunai, throws it away, patches Aruka up, and screams for a medic. There's poison on that kunai, and Aruka only has a few days to live if they do not get it out now. So they would, another team Alpha, I'm just going to say it, just quickly because I couldn't think of a different name for him. Alpha would come along, pick up Mizuki, take him to T and I, as Team Delta would pick up Iruka and take him straight towards the hospital. One of Team Delta, already being a medic, Nin, in the Ombu, would immediately put on pressure and siphon off the poison slowly. She wasn't particularly brilliant at the whole removing poisons thing because she only just started learning about that. Naruto would look down in sadness, wondering if that Iruka would live. Nico would kneel down and simply rub his head, saying, "You did well, Naruto. I knew, Team Ro and I knew that you weren't a traitor, because there's no way a softie like you would truly defect from this village, even though all the shit that the people have put you in. We know you too well, and we're proud of you for holding off Mizuki and beating him." Naruto would only nod slightly, still rather depressed that, Mizuki had tricked him. Nico would sigh, saying, "Tell you what, how about me and the others here take you for some ramen after we visit the old man, as you love to call him." This perking up Naruto's interest. I'm not going to change Naruto for the worst. He is still a ramen-addicted idiot. As Kurama would just sweat drop, saying, "Damn, Kushina, our son has an addiction to ramen like you. Damn." And so Naruto would find himself in the Hokage's office. He would explain everything that happened. Sarutobi, not at all surprised, because crystal ball, he saw everything. But he did say that he will not punish Naruto for what had happened. It wasn't his fault. He was tricked. He trusted someone who should have been there to help him as a teacher. And since the teacher only used him to get what he wanted and revealed an S-ranked secret, he then keeps at least Nico in the room while the rest of the Anbu vanish. Nico being one of the top Anbu members who saved Naruto more times than anybody, even on her off days. Like, when she's not feeling well, she'd still go out there and she'd still save Naruto. So she was truly dedicated to this, saving the Yondame's, Kurama's legacy. She had saw Naruto as a little brother figure. A little brother figure that she wanted to protect constantly. Now, all of Team Ro thought of that as well, including most of the Anbu, apart from Root. Nico would stay. Sarutobi would, do a chakra pulse to make sure that nobody's in his room. From last month, he found out that Naruto was one hell of a censor, as he picked up, Anbu members that were blank in emotions and blank in personality. He killed them in front of Naruto, who had his eyes covered by Nico, as he just curses out in his mind, "Danzo's Root are in this building. I told him to get rid of Root, to stop it. Apparently he hasn't." End of flashback. So, after checking to see if the Root members were around, finding none of them, he silences the room and puts up a privacy seal, locking the doors, windows, locking everything else down. Any devices that were, should be active using chakra would not pick up the conversation, not see it, and nobody would hear it. And nobody would be able to see any recordings of it if a seal could record it and show it as if it was happening. As Naruto would sit down, Nico would sit with him. Again, she is protective of Naruto. Hell, apart from Root, every Anbu member is. Sarutobi pretty much explains all about the night of the Kyuubi attack. He doesn't say that Kyuubi was his dad, because he actually had no idea that... Truthfully... Okay, I'm sort of backtracking here, I do apologise. Sarutobi said that he does know who his parents are. He honestly thought that Naruto was the son of... Minato? Sorry, I forgot his name there. But when he did a bit more of a background check on him, he realised that Kushina and Minato were never truly buddy-buddy, friendly, and, lovers. Sure, she liked him because he saved her from Kumo, but other than that, nothing happened. There was not even a wisp of romance between them. But then he remembered she was showing signs of pregnancy. Kyuubi suddenly appeared after she had given birth. And then he realised, when he went into Kushina's mind one time before she was pregnant, he knew that those two were quite close and quite friendly with each other. So he only had one thing to say to himself in his mind, now realising it after he saw Naruto grow up, and with the whisker marks that were not actually unnatural, were actual natural whiskers. He realised that Kurama, he didn't know Kurama's name at all, just called Kitsune. Kurama was Naruto's most probably biological father. He didn't know anything about Biju having human bodies at all. Kushina did, because, how else was she going to, have a baby if he was in his nine-tailed form and she wasn't? And yes, it took 5 years for her pregnancy to fully come through, but hey, my what if, okay? So, yeah. Hiruzen would explain all of it, but leaving out the fact that Kurama was, not leaving out that the Nine Tails is sealed inside him. He is the container, like a scroll contains a kunai. The scroll doesn't become the kunai. The scroll has it sealed. Does the kunai become the scroll, or does the scroll become the kunai? The question is, the kunai becomes the scroll because it's sealed within the scroll. He explains that Naruto is like a scroll for a giant mass of chakra. Again, Sarutobi doesn't know that the Nine Tails has a human form. The Nine Tails listening in commends Sarutobi for breaking it down for his son. He must have a bad time because of the villagers. And when Naruto asks them why did people hate him, if Naruto just gets cut off by Nico says, because the idiots on the council blurted out to the public that you are the Kyuubi yourself. The Anbu at first thought that, myself included, until we all realised, all on different times, that you're not the Kyuubi, you are you. You're different compared to Kyuubi, you don't have 2 ears or 9 tails, you're just you. And yes, this may sound hurtful to you when I myself had told you this, but everybody in Anbu had tried their damnedest to make sure you're safe on your birthdays. But every time we try, half of us are on missions. The other half of us are trying to prevent civilians from causing mass riots because of drunken stupidity. And this is always used as a way to lure us away so they can get to you. The one time I was actually sick with my friend Anko, who was watching over me, and she's the crazy lady that you know in TNI. Once when she took you into TNI to get you away from the last mob when you were 7. Naruto would nod. He would remember Anko. Kurama wanting to know who this Anko was, because when he got out he wanted to thank her personally. He could thank, well, Nico herself, once he saw her face in the memories, so he would be able to find her, although that purple hair would be easy to spot from a mile away. So he would go through the memories to 7 years old to where a mob attacked him. He saw snakes attacking the people, and the purple-haired Ombu, seeing her face, which was rather pretty, he must admit, take away a Naruto with a woman with chocolate brown hair and chocolate brown eyes, a decently good figure, and a trench coat, fishnet t-shirt, and, well, an orange miniskirt that was way too high up on the thigh level. Kurama basically muttered to himself rather loudly, if Kushina saw him even eyeing up another woman, he'll most probably end up with her own class of a Biju Dharma straight up his rectum. He doesn't want to piss off his wife, although technically they're not even married, but because he's a Biju and she's now a Biju, does that really matter anymore? He pretty much just watches the rest of the memories. Sure, he's pissed that the villagers tried to kill his son, but his son vowed to protect. He will agree to his son's request. He wants to protect, so he will allow his son to protect the village. But he got kind of confused when he saw a man with snake-slitted eyes eyeing up his son. He doesn't know who this is, but he does need to ask, well, Sarutobi, when he gets out, who has yellow eyes and eyes like a snake. He doesn't actually know who it is, but we all know it's Orochimaru. But again, since he was in the seal, he couldn't truly see him. And plus it was blurry anyway, so seeing snake eyes, he didn't realise he went a little bit too far backwards. After checking even more backwards, he saw snake eyes. And he doesn't know why. So he went straight back to the conversation, which he only caught the last bit of, which was of basically Nico asking him to join Ombu to keep him more safe. Sarutobi didn't want him to join Ombu because he wanted him to be in a actual ninja. Well, a ninja squad. Cat pretty much laid it out flat for him, saying, 1, civilians would just hound you to get him executed. We all know he was being sabotaged, so he'd be put on the Uchiha's team, and the Uchiha is a literal bloody flight risk. I'll not have my little brother being put on that team where the Uchiha can just kill him and leave. As soon as Naruto gets proper training, the Uchiha will get jealous and he'll try and kill him. I'm not having that for my little brother. Want it. Okay. So, after that night, Igao takes Naruto back to his apartment. And, well, Naruto passes out. Yugao would stay with him because, one, she saw the writing on the wall saying "Die Demon." They must have broken in here during the afternoon and vandalized his entire apartment. Again, just another notch to the reason why she wants him out of this apartment and into Ombu. At least with Ombu, she can actually give him a proper house or a proper apartment in the shinobi sector of the village. It's much more high class, and he can actually have he can at least have 2 rooms, 2 bedrooms, a bathroom, kitchen / dining room / living room. At least he'd have something there and be more comfortable. And if he ever has a partner who works in Ombu or works in TNI, they can either live with him or live somewhere else. But she's hoping to bank on someone living with him so he's not alone. She can't live with him all the time, considering she's got her own apartment and a boyfriend. That she's kind of thinking that maybe he might not like her nowadays, but she only has hope. By the way, the ship is not Yugao x Naruto. So, just to shoot you guys down before you even think about it, is she would, well, sleep, but have her ears and sensory abilities active. The whole night, nothing happened. Inside Naruto's mind, however, I do not have an image of the sewers yet, so I'm sorry. I could do it now, but I want to get this over and done with quickly, so sorry. Naruto would go into his mind, and he'll find himself knee-deep in a sewer. And can you shut the fuck up, dog? He'll find himself in a sewer. Water, instead of just up to his ankles, is up to his knees. Naruto would just sigh, saying, "Great. After this I was dumped into a sewer. Maybe she was just lying. Perhaps she does still hate me." As you'd hear a voice, "Come here, Kit. Follow the pipe." Naruto would have freaked out when he heard it, and asked who was there. The voice would just sigh, saying, "Look up, follow the red pipe, it will bring you to me. And when you see me, don't freak out. I mean you no harm, and I would never hurt you. Ever. Unless you really do piss me off. Then I will most probably spank you really hard on the backside, telling you off. But that's only if you piss me off. So follow the pipe, Kit." So Naruto would follow said pipe. Are you done sneezing? So Naruto would follow the pipe. He would follow it until he got to a, very large, openly large bloody hallway or hall of sorts. As you see, big, very, very thick bars with a piece of paper in the middle of those bars saying "seal." Naruto, being curious, would ask who's there. A voice would just simply say, "Who's there? The voice that told you to follow the pipes. Kit, now come closer to the bars so I can get a closer look at you." So Naruto would walk a bit further in till he walked right up to the bars. There's a big red eye with a slit in the middle of it would look at him. As Naruto was about to freak as he heard a humming noise coming from where that red eye was. It seems you are already decently developed. Wasn't expecting that. And you got 9 tails already. Damn. And I thought you would take at least a couple of years to get your tails. You should have, I thought you would have been able to only have 2 tails. At such an early year, at your age now. Because it takes would most probably take you years to have the abilities to use your tails properly. But you got all 9 of them. How fascinating. Well, I guess you are the son of me, son of mine, mine and mate of mine. She would be so proud of you. Already seeing that you have your 9 tails already. This Naruto would freak, saying, "What do you mean, son of mine and mate, and from mate of mine?" A light would shine upon the eye revealing orange fur around it, and revealing a huge humanoid body with a head of a fox, a body of a human, hands of a human, and 9, dark orange tails. I am Kyuubi no Yoko, aka the one who attacked your the village 12 years ago, aka your father, aka one protector, aka, well, there's a lot of AKAs, so I'm just going to leave it down as your father. As Naruto's eyes would widen, as he would just cry, saying the villagers were right, I am a monster. As Kyuubi would say, no, you're not, in a loud, booming voice. Naruto would just cry, saying, but you just told me I'm your son. They were right, I'm a demon. As Kyuubi would slam his hands down, causing a wave to smash into Naruto, getting him to look at him really pissed off because he didn't want to get wet. As Kyuubi would shrink down and show his human form, as he would squeeze through the bars, but a lot of red chakra would go back into the bars and form, the body of the Nine Tails. As the Nine Tails human form would walk up to him, Naruto was going to back off, only to get grabbed and pulled into a hug, saying, my son, listen to me. You are no demon. In fact, you are the most precious thing your mother and I had ever had. You are no demon. You are a kitsune. Kitsunes are known for pranks and illusions. This illusion that you think of demonhood of yours, is nothing but an illusion that the villagers had forced you to create for yourself. You are no demon. You are a human, with fox-like abilities and traits, such as your ears and tails. You are no demon. You, my son, are the son of Kyuubi no Kitsune. But since you are my son, I will give you my name. My name is Kurama Kitsune. Since I am a kitsune myself, I gave myself that last name. Do not question me on that, please. And I was created quite some time ago. I was created by the Sage of Six Paths. This human form you see now was the human I used to be, before I was given the power of the nine-tailed beast, of Kyuubi, the chakra from the Sage of Six Paths, the father of all Biju, because he sired us, not through the ways you were created, but through the overwhelming power of chakra we were given. We, the 9 Biju, our powers are from the Jubi, the 10-tailed monster, that if it wasn't for the Sage of Six Paths, this whole world would have been destroyed. Now, as you don't know this, you have 8 other family members, 2 aunts, and quite a few uncles. Now, trust me when I say one of your aunts is a pervert. Trust me, she is. Now, Kurama would give the whole spiel about the 1-tailed Shukaku, the 2 tails, the 3 tails, the 4 tails, the 5 tails, the 6 tails, the 7 tails, the 8th tail, or 8 tails, then him himself. He gives Naruto the whole spiel about it. It took the whole night. Naruto still didn't like it that he was the son of the Kyuubi, but his father said, and be proud of your heritage. If those bastards outside think that you are a monster, blow them off. Say a real monster doesn't attack children. And tell them that you had spoken to me, and I said personally I would never attack children. I was controlled to attack. I never even wanted to attack. Sorry about that. I would have gladly defended this village with my mate. I would defend it with my whole entire being. I may come back after 9 years, but I would come back to defend this place. So they should figure themselves lucky that I still want to defend it, because my mate is here. And my child is here. Just leave out the mate and child part, please. But tell them that the Ninetales himself wanted to defend this place, but was mind-controlled into attacking it. So it's not his fault. You can blame Madara Uchiha, who should have died over 100 fucking years ago. As Kyuubi would breathe in and breathe out, actually taking large gulps of air because he was running his mouth a mile a minute. So when he finally stopped breathing harshly, he smiles. A smile that doesn't hold malice or cheekiness, just smiles and holds general love for his child. As he says, "I have seen your memories, my son. And there's a certain vixen that I think you would like." As his eyes would go from a crimson red to a blue colour. That's the only hint you'll get of who your potential mate should be. If Naruto actually paid attention more, there was a lot more to give away who his potential mate was. But Naruto just missed it entirely. He was so enraptured of what his father had told him that he was just generally thinking. Out in the real world, Nico moved over to Naruto's side to shake him awake, as it had become daytime. Elsewhere, a Chunin would finally get out of the hospital. A wound still around around where his kidney would be, on the right side. Several people would wake up. A girl would wake up, do her hair, tie it in a ponytail, and say, "Today's the day I will get Sasuke-kun. Forehead will not succeed." In another, building, Ino Pig will not get Sasuke-kun. Sasuke-kun's mine. And yes, when Naruto would finally wake up, he would see a bucket of water being tipped onto his head as he would cough and spit out the rest of the water that had entered his mouth. Nico would sigh, saying, "Finally you woke up. You've been asleep for the last 4 hours. I've tried everything, from even using a feather on your feet to wake you up, which to other people would be considered torture, but you just slept through it. Come on. Hokage-sama wishes to see us." So Nico would vanish. Naruto would only just, shake his head, trying to get out the excess water from his ears. He would just say, "Okay," but then growl. Nico would look at him and ask, "What's wrong?" As he would hunch over on his own bed, as his ears that symbolised him as human would recede into his skull. Nico would watch as, fox-like ears would pop up on his head, and 9 blood-red tails and blood-red hair would change from blonde to red. As his hair would grow out a little bit more, it would, grow up a little bit more too, to a respectful 4'5". No, to a respectful 5'5" to 5'6". His nails would sharpen and lengthen. as he'd just simply roll off the bed after his 9 tails had popped up, tearing his underwear to pieces. Which caused Nico to kind of turn away in a little bit of a blush, because his manhood had also gotten a little bit of a boost up too, apparently. But she would wave it off, and she would throw him some extra clothes. But she then realised that the 9 tails are a bit of a problem. And, she was about to tell Naruto that they need to hide those tails quickly and the ears. Naruto would say, yeah, I think I know how to do it. As he would do several different hand signs that were more demonic, or should be demonic in nature, as he would clap his hands together saying, illusionary jutsu, wavering body. Wavering body was just something I made up. It basically rehides the ears and puts the human ears back on. Also hides the tails as well. But this also allows him to also put on some actual clothing, like trousers, pants, and all that, without his 9 tails ripping the trousers and pants apart. Is Nico just, mouth agape, just look at him in open shock, seeing that his ears had just turned back into human ears and his 9 tails had vanished. Hell, his claws had gone back to normal size. Or his claw-like fingernails had gone back to size again. As Nico would just say, okay, we gotta tell Hokage-sama about this. And it looks like what he said about your father being, Mr. 9, who destroyed half of the village, was true. As Naruto would just nod. As Yuga would just simply put her hand on his shoulder and gently squeezes it to let him know that it's just her being nice. As she'd just say, hold on tight, but not too tight, because you may end up wanting to hell up anything that you had last night. Before Naruto could ask what she meant, poof, both of them went off in a swirl of leaves. It was a shunshin. And Naruto found himself back in the Hokage Tower. Naruto would find the bin and hurl into the bin. When he had finished hurling, an Anbu member reappeared, took the bag, and put a new one in it. Cat pretty much smiling, saying, yeah, I did warn you that was going to happen. Hokage-sama, Anbu member Cat reporting for duty. Sarutobi would just look at Cat, raise an eyebrow, then look as Naruto took a seat. Sarutobi would say, Anbu, apart from, Team Ro, leave. As Naruto would turn around to actually see that there's 3 more individuals. Tiger mask, wearing Anbu member, a slightly shorter individual wearing a wolf mask, another wearing, Neiko's mask, as he realised that Neiko was standing with a team. When I said 4, here's the reason. Hokage-sama, or hey Gigi, there's someone in the ceiling again, and it seems rather, blank. So, Nico would throw a kunai as a body would fall out the roof, slamming into the desk, scattering paperwork. As once again, it was root. The Sarutobi would growl, I seriously got to kill Danzo for this. He is truly a traitor. If I have to sniff out any more bloody Anbu members that don't belong to the regular Anbu forces. Thank you for sniffing him out, Naruto. Naruto would just shrug, saying, I felt no emotions from him, so I had a feeling that he wasn't one of yours. Again, seals would go up. Sarutobi would then lace his fingers together, saying, and ask, "So, what do you think about Cat's offer? You will be placed in Team Row. By the way, Team Row, remove your masks so he gets to know your faces." As Team Row would, revealing a man that looks like he can do fish eyes with brown hair and some sort of helmeted faceplate. A girl with, brown hair, jet black hair, onyx eyes, petite face, slim figure, and slightly shorter than the first one. Then Yugal, her purple hair showing, nothing really. Her mask will come off, revealing a beautiful face, red lips, a pointed nose, a slightly shorter nose, and, light blue eyes, perfect figure, and everything else, with her armour on, obviously. The tiger mask would ask for the boy's name, knowing the name pretty well. As Naruto would introduce himself as Naruto Uzumaki Kitsune. Everybody shocked to hear the word Kitsune. As Naruto would say, Kyuubi told me to call myself Kitsune and Uzumaki, considering my mother was an Uzumaki, apparently. The Sarutobi would click his fingers, saying, "I thought Kyuubi was your father, and since you just called yourself Kitsune, I'm assuming that the Kyuubi and you had a talk last night." Naruto would nod. Sorry about that. As Yuga would ask, "Wait, Uzumaki, there was only one Uzumaki and the name was Uzumaki Kushina. Then that means that Kushina is his mother and Kyuubi is his father. Then where's Kushina-sama? More importantly, why is my sensei not here? Considering that Kushina was my sensei, it would explain why she's not here, but we never saw her body. And we all thought that Naruto was the son of the fourth, but as you can see, Sarutobi-sama, his hair is no longer blonde, it's red." The Sarutobi would nod, saying, "Yes, I noticed, but I wanted someone else to pick it up first, but it looks like you did." Anbu members would introduce themselves after Sarutobi asked them to. Tiger would go first. "My name is Tenzo, or Tenzo Yamada, but just call me Tenzo." This would step away. The woman with onyx eyes and raven black hair would, do a peace sign, saying, "Yo, my name is Kiri, or as you can just call me Kira, but everybody calls me Kiri, and that Kiri is actually my name, but I prefer Kira, so call me Kiri or Kira, it doesn't matter to me, squirt." Is Yugo facepalm and saying, "My name is Yugo Yuzuki. I am the woman who took you home last night. And I also know about your little incident earlier today. And Kira, if you say anything perverted, I am going to punch you. He's only 12. Hey, I'm 13. Hey, I'm only 15. As Kira's eyes would go blood red with two Tamos. I forgot to mention, I'm also an Uchiha, one of the last, actually. You may or may not have met my younger cousin, Sasuke, in the academy. Yes, I know he's an emo bastard. Trust me, I know that. And that's why I do not think of him as a true Uchiha. A true Uchiha doesn't let vengeance cloud their mind. So for now on, think of me as the only true Uchiha here. I may be a half-blood, but I consider myself a true Uchiha. I don't go around stabbing people in the back like the rest of my idiotic clan used to do. Tenzo would just sigh. Hokage-sama. As Sarutobi would just say, Naruto, if you agree, these 3 individuals will be your teachers. You'll be on their team, so you have already got friendly faces to know about. And they'll help you grow. Then I've also noticed you've gone from 4'9" to 5'5" to even 5'6" even. So that's a huge growth spurt in your area, which I'm glad about, so I don't have to look down at you. To actually have a conversation with you, I can talk to you normally now. Naruto just nod, saying, and if I refuse, you'll just end up on Kakashi's team, and Kakashi is known for his tardiness. As Nico just sigh, he's also known for his pervertedness of reading perverted books. In public and in private. As Naruto would nod, and says that he did speak to his dad about it last night, and his dad said, well, go for it. Out of public mind, out of public sight. Or out of sight, out of mind. Sarutobi would narrow his eyes as Naruto would shift a little under the intense glare. Words fun. Underneath the intense glare of the Hokage. Did your father truly say this, Naruto-kun, or are you just saying this so you can get out of here? As the Nine-Tails, as Kurama himself would just sigh, saying, tell him that I told you to go into Anbu for your own safety. And plus, it'll make you a lot stronger. They'll also be able to help teach you what is necessary to be an actual shinobi and not a, walking dunce of an idiot. No offense. As Naruto would repeat all that his father had said. One making Team Row chuckle of the father's obvious jab at his own son's intelligence, and also chuckling knowing that their love for toughening him up would be considered torture, but they knew that they had to do it in order to help him out. They are not biased, unlike the Academy. And Iruka was not biased towards him either. So, Naruto agrees. And he'll be going into Anbu. 1 minute. So, I'm quickly going to time skip at least around about 4. No, I'm going around about 2 months later. After Naruto entered Anbu and got his mask, which, to nobody's surprise, he got the kitsune mask, although they thought that their Anbu commander may actually try to pull a fast one and give him something stupid like mouse or, Octo for no reason. Octo is basically octopus, but an octopus mask, but obviously called Octo. They would introduce him to the rest of the Anbu, who all gave him thumbs up, waved at him, told him hello. Some of the Kunoichi Anbu members actually hugged him, which was a new thing for Naruto. Sure, he got hugged by his father, but that was still kind of awkward. He didn't know how to hug back. And some of the other younger Kunoichi just gently pulled his cheeks, calling him cute and all that. The male Anbu members just patted him on the head, roughed his hair up a little bit. Not too hard to hurt him, but obviously enough to let him know that they respect him. And then they got down to teaching him the mathematics, the kunai throwing. They taught him a lot. Tenzo was paramount into having an Onbu member that can actually pull their weight. Sure, they knew that Naruto would have to take time to get used to his new, waking up routine, but they knew that eventually he would get it. It would just take him a little while. That'll be all. And so they would teach him everything that they knew for the kunai throwing test, or the kunai and shuriken throwing test, a lot more advanced version of the bunshin and all that, the kawarimi and shunshin, and even the henge. They'd teach him all about that. They'd even tell him about the clone's unique ability to bring back the memories that they had learnt. So they taught him everything that they needed to know. He needed to know about to get him up to the extent that they needed him at, for the first 2 months. And it was surprising. 2 months later, he had not only advanced in intelligence, but he had also advanced in chakra control. Without the Kyuubi messing up his chakra system, he was extremely good. But Team Ro, apart from Yugao, hadn't seen his 9 tails, or his ears. They do know that he is the son of the Kyuubi by itself, but they didn't know he had 9 tails and ears to go with it. And if he ever brought them out, I think we all had a feeling that they'd either try to kill him, or a lot of the females would just shout kawaii and glomp him in order to touch his tails. You go. Anyway, Kira would basically teach him all about genjutsu and its many uses. She even cheekily pointed out to him, dragged him away one time, and told him to model himself after her. And this is when he discovers he can make himself look like a woman. He called it sexy auric no jitsu, sexy technique. And a puff of smoke, Kira basically blushed seeing that he was fully naked in this henge. And only missing the, nipples and the pussy downstairs, considering the smoke and all that. He would just change, saying, "How was that?" Kira could only giggle with a little bit of a redness to a cheek, saying, "My, aren't we bold? Exposing me naked like that. How would Tenzo ever be able to live that one down?" Naruto would look at her confused, as wood would wrap around his arms and legs and drag him straight back to where Tenzo was. Naruto could have swore he saw Tenzo quickly swiping blood away from his nostrils, but since Tenzo was quite the stick in the mud even after the 2 months, it was kind of hard to understand and figure out. And the ear lashing he got from Tenzo for pulling such a stunt was immense. Kira, rolling on the floor, giggling, would unfortunately be dragged off too, considering that she's the one who got him into the problem in the first place. And she was used as a partner in training for Yugao, who, in her horror and unique confusion, was holding a rolling pin that had her name written on it. And the words, "Hit Kira as hard as you can in the head for doing something so stupid. For making a little brother figure turn pervy." As Kira could only chuckle slightly and back up, trying to get her out of the ass-kicking that she is destined to have by Yugao. As Kira only screams, saying, "Not the face, not the face. Okay, the face, the face, the face." Leaving one very, very concerned Naruto, who he was unfortunately being used to being used as a footrest, really. Why a footrest? Well, considering Tenzo had already beaten him into the ground, he was just the right sort of way to use him as a footrest. And Tenzo had weights on his legs to put the pressure on Naruto's back. Kyuubi only was wincing in pain, but secretly he was howling in laughter. Well, he was... No, scratch that. He was howling laughter when, well, the Ombu herself decided that she was going to tease him and, well, what was she expecting? He was a 12-year-old. And after he found out his son was being used as a footrest for his stupidity on believing her, Kyuubi couldn't help but wince as he could hear the bones creaking under the weight. As Kyuubi could only just pray that his son's back doesn't get split in half by the amount of weight that's most probably weighing down on not only his son's back, but on the Ombu leader's, or team leader's, legs. Not realising there was a 50-pound weight each. And there's around about 4 weights on his legs. And they're all weighing 50 pounds. So that's 200 pounds on the legs and on the spinal cord. So once Yugao brought Kira back with that now looks black, blue and purple due to being hit in the head with a rolling pin, everybody got back to actual training. Yugao started teaching, 300 clones Kenjutsu with swords and that, or the art of weaponry. Swords, mainly. Kira taught Naruto about illusions. Although when she taught Naruto about illusions, Yugao was there to make sure she actually did her job right, and not turn their newest kohai, / little brother figure, into a perv. And Tenzo? Well, Tenzo taught him all about hand-to-hand combat, intelligence gathering, and how to be quiet. Although they all helped teach him that. And, well, once or twice they surrounded Kira while she was teaching Naruto all about, seduction missions, and when sometimes Kira has to go on her own, or, not even Yugao, but some kunoichi, such as Kira, sometimes have to go alone. It's either an assassination or a recon mission that requires specific handling. Naruto asks about the specific handling. Be aware this is a week before they leave on their first, mission in the village. So I'm going to be leaving it on the training field because this is training, technically, still. Kira just says that some missions require being very suave and very good in making people feel wanted. She names it like that, but secretly she wanted to say, I have to seduce people and make them want to fuck me. So I can get the information, and when I got the information, I kill them. But she couldn't really say that. Yugao and Tenzo were right there, and they both were giving her the look saying, you better answer with a different answer than what we know you were going to say. The rolling pin was in Yugao's hands, and she was patting it gently against her hand, telling her that I'm ready to hit you again. So she worded it like that. And luckily she didn't get a rolling pin attack to the face. Well, a week later they would be out in the village as, more training for long-term deployment. A C-rank deployment in the hospital, really. Naruto got, the most uncomfortable position ever, up in a corner, where he had to constantly have have a constant stream of chakra in a illusion to keep him concealed, but he was also not using chakra to hold onto the walls, he was using his claws for that. But nobody saw him, luckily. And when they noticed a villager getting angry, it was generally quick for Yugao to go down there to show Naruto how it's done. Should tell the man that the staff members are understaffed at the moment. They need more staff members, so he has to be calm. They'll take him to his wife soon. He just needs to be calm. Yugao says it with such calmness, it actually gets the man to calm down. Little did Naruto know, this was actually another test by the Onbu squad, and that was actually an off-duty Onbu member whose wife was in the hospital. Hell, his wife was the woman at the front desk. So it was kind of awkward to shout at his wife, saying that his wife is in the hospital. She did raise an eyebrow, but he mouthed that after the day, he apologised to her, saying that that was actually a ruse for one of the new rookies in the Onbu. He was put into the Onbu after a traitor decided he was going to trick him and try to kill him after being found out. The Onbu didn't really say anything else because his wife was a kind of a hate Naruto kind of woman, because she lost the ability to have kids because of the Kyuubi, and she was pregnant at the time, so she not only lost the ability to have babies, but she lost the baby in her womb. So she massively hates him for that. So the Onbu member never told her that the Onbu member that was new was the Kyuubi Jinchuriki, because he knew that damn well she was going to scream out that the demon's in the hospital and it needs to die. So, the very next, week, after different kind of training scenarios, such as a team member being held hostage, does he go back home, or does he abandon his team to go to save one teammate where he could possibly die? Hypothetically speaking, not literally. Naruto just says, regardless, I'll go back for my teammate. I'll ask him to send backup as soon as possible, but I'd still go back for my teammate. I would not abandon a teammate. You live together, you sleep together, not literally unless you're married, you eat together, you go on missions together, you hang out together. You never abandon a comrade. You would always go back for them. Like Tsukumo Haddock did during the Third Shinobi War. This made Tenzo happy. He was as happy as he could be with that answer. He passed all scenarios. His intelligence had gone through the roof. It was scary. Until the Onbu members all gathered one day to actually talk about their missions. Team Ro actually talked about their training of the newbie, and Kira just said it as loud as possible. The newbie's like a genius. Properly taught, he is a Itachi level genius. He is extremely good. Just not psycho like Itachi was. Everybody would just nod. And so, they would go and do their own things again. The Onbu members would go off and train if they're training today, or go off and do missions. Naruto, still in training, would be taught all sorts of things. Until Kira drags him away when Tenzo and Yugao actually had to go off on their own mission, which required only 2 of them. So Kira dragged him off one way to train him in more illusions. But this time it was physical illusions. As she pretty much, when she dragged him off, it was to drag him off into her apartment. Now I know what you're going to say, oh boy, she's going to rape him. No, she's not. But what she does do is loosen all of her clothing to reveal her whole body to him. Now, this does make him blush, and his little man downstairs was starting to, perk up. Kurama himself was saying loudly, in his son's mind, saying, "Damn, I know your mother would kill me for this, but if your mother and her both walked up to me and said, fuck us, and impregnate us, I would definitely do that. She is a bombshell like your mother. But don't go for her. She's a lot older than you, and I know you have, that you want someone you're near your own age. She may be 2 years older than you, or 3 years older than you still, but she is still a bombshell." Kira would smirk, seeing Naruto's face go red, not only because she's butt-ass naked in front of him, but also his father's basically saying that if it was down to him, he would have fucked her and his mother at the same time. If they were both in front of him and both wanted kids. He would fuck them both. And he would not feel sorry about it. So Kira would giggle, saying, "Oh, Naruto-kun, eyes up here, not down at my obviously good breasts." And she, cheekily bounces them up and down to accentuate the point. So when Naruto finally snaps out of it, he then looks behind him, seeing that the curtains were closed. Obviously, she had planned this out for quite some time. And since Yugao and Yamato would be out of the village for at least a week, he'd still be training. And, Akira, she was not exactly the type to basically just do things half-cocked, as she so put it. She grabbed his hands after he looked at her properly and put them smack bang on her tits, saying, "Feel my tits. These are how they're actually meant to feel like. Get the nubs right when you go into your sexy no jutsu. Minus the smoke. I want to see those so I can actually tell you what you have and haven't done properly for them, so you don't go half-cocked into a seduction mission if there are no other female shinobi around." So Naruto goes back into his sexy no jutsu, which is basically a red version of, Kira. Kira says, "Right, change the hair color, come out, change the hair color into a natural blonde, either a natural blonde or brown, and change the eyes from blue to green." So he would come out of his transformation, then think of brown hair, blue eyes. He'd do it again. She'd notice that there's still smoke around the private area, but that was okay. She was going to teach him that soon. She basically walked up to the brunette version of herself, and since she is 6'5", basically, she puts her hands directly on the breasts and squeezes, feeling them as solid, which kind of confused her, thinking that perhaps the smoke was there for a reason, but if these are solid... She then says, "Alright, now come out of that version of yourself." He does, as she noticed that the boobs went back straight to being flat as a chest of a regular guy, or a kunoichi who doesn't know how to eat properly. Sakura. And she realises, this is a full transformation. This isn't just a clone jutsu or even a henge. He can physically turn himself into a woman. This just makes her happy because, oh boy, she can have fun with this. And she says, right, I just figured something out. What you're doing is not actually a henge. You're physically transforming into a girl. This most probably means if you have this next body part, that means you will also have a period cycle where you will bleed. And this, for us girls, means that we're ready to actually have children. So, buckle up, bucko, because you might A, masturbate to this, or use your female status to, again, masturbate. To feel what it feels like to be a girl. And she'll just giggle, seeing Naruto's very, very scared face, thinking about this. But before Naruto could even do anything, his hand goes right on her, undercarriage. And she would tell him to feel, to move his hands around and to basically feel the slit there. He does, although he's kind of horrified that he's doing this. He's only 12. But again, he's now considered an adult now that he's in Anbu. So feeling a woman up would be something that he most probably do when he actually does have a girlfriend of his own. Akira lets out a very loud moan. She actually found it quite pleasurable because not only was he feeling her, pussy, the entrance to her, womb. Okay, he has to go through a canalway to get to the opening of her womb, but she was still enjoying it. And, he was twiddling around with her clit a little bit, not knowing that that nub was a clit. So when he finally stopped filling her up, she was soaked. He kind of asked her, why is she so moist down there? She would blush, saying that's what us women called turned on. Naruto would look at her confused, again not really getting it, until she said that she enjoyed him touching her down there. Her whole body was getting excited. And she even explained, she doesn't explain, she sits him down, straps him down, and basically pulls out a disc, a CD disc. If anybody's had a sex ed class, basically, I believe it's in science where you learn about, what organisms do, like in animals and plants and in human beings, you'll understand that she just basically puts in something that people have to learn about. And Naruto, he couldn't look at girls in the right way again. Sure, girls are pretty, and he will admit that Kira is quite beautiful. Hell, she's gorgeous. But her doing this makes him think that she's most probably hugely perverted and would most probably, take it as much as she can give it. He doesn't know whether to be glad that she's showing him this now, so he doesn't freak out when he actually has to go on an actual seduction mission for a woman, or be shocked that she's doing this and getting very, very aroused in the process. Because his nose had started picking up her arousal, and that was just her casually walking past him, behind him, by the way, not in front of him, so he could finish watching what he needed to watch to understand all about, a woman's vagina and all that. What their bodies do when they had male sperm entering their womb. What happens when a baby is made. He learns a lot of things in Anbu that he now wishes that he didn't learn. Especially from Akira. The Ninetales, though, he's, saying, holy shit, if Naruto My son, if you turn into a perv, your mother's going to kill me and you at the same time. So yeah, Naruto doesn't look at Kira the same way again. But she does offer him a freebie. So whenever they're alone, he can get to touch her in the either appropriate or inappropriate ways to help him get over his shyness, to say. To say that he didn't want that to happen would be an understatement. He didn't want to touch her in such ways. But she again tells him that she's going to touch him now in his female form to show him if he's made any wrong adjustments. As Kira explains, all serious, that a beautiful and very sexy woman often makes men do the most stupidest things possible. They let down their guard. And she pretty much shows through another video, through what Naruto knows, well, should know. This was from one of Akira's missions. Sure, she was 14 when she did this, but she was already developing quite well. And she looked a lot older than she was because she was using a henge. A henge that she was taught in Ombu. And so, when Naruto watched, she was in a black laced panties and bra with what she has now, triple D cupped breasts. Although in this, she had double D'd breasts. And she was only a B cup at the time. No, C cup at the time. So, he watched as she seductively seduced her target, which was a crime lord. Similar status to Goto, but not in the slave trade or anything like that, or even drug trade. No, he was just some random lord of crime that needed to be dealt with. And Akira pretty much told him that she found out a lot of information before she, killed him. She left out the word of seducingly killing, because, he didn't need to know that she killed him while he was putting his cock in her butt and not in her vagina. So yeah, she couldn't help but rub her backside, knowing that doing it like that really hurt and really made her butthole feel like it was being violated by something else entirely. So Kira would unstrap him and then tell him to get into into the version of her again, so she can, sort out any problems that he may or may not have discovered alone. So, when he did, Akira smiled, knowing that this is rather embarrassing for the boy. But she did teach him all that she knew, especially about the seductions that he needs to learn about, again, just in case he needs to go for one. And, a day before, Tenzo and Yugao return, she puts him in an actual, seducing mission. He has to seduce her. She has information that only someone who can seduce can get out of. It's basically non-dangerous information. It was just he needs to try and seduce her, and all she needs to do is find out if he's actually trying to seduce her. Easy to say, Naruto failed. His seducing methods were extremely stupid, asking her out if she wanted to go and get something to eat afterwards. While smart, not everybody's going to fall for it, especially if they are either kunoichi or, well, shinobi males. Sure, shinobi males are easier to fool when you're female because, well, a beautiful female usually helps smooth things along. But when you're a kunoichi and a guy tries to get information out of you, knowing that you are a kunoichi and they need that information, getting into your pants to fuck your brains out while you scream all of the information off the top of your lungs through, well, having sex and either getting too badly drunk or not, kind of a different thing. So she told him all about what he did and did not do right. Sure, it hurt his pride knowing that he couldn't do it right, but she did admit that given him a few more days, well, a month or two, or even 4 months, hell, even 2 years, he would be able to get seduction down to a T. It takes years to get seduction down. Hell, it took her around about, well, several years after she joined, well, Ombu to successfully get it down right. She joined when she was around about 11. She got brought out after, well, she was 11 and joined the Ombu. She mastered it at the age of 13. 14 was when she truly put it into action. So that was her first ever seduction mission, and when her butthole felt like it was being violated, because it was. So she gave him a few tips and pointers. Told him that, again, that he was a little bit too cheesy, a little bit too upfront. He didn't even spike a beverage, aka a drink, which she wasn't going to drink anyway, because, well, she's a trained shinobi. She knows when somebody's spiked a drink. But, hey, this was all a test. So telling him that he didn't do bad, but he didn't do too good either, boosts him and drops his confidence a little. But she just continues pointing him out that his stance was too robotic, like he was being forced to do it. If he ever has to go on seduction missions again, and for real this time, he can't be as stiff as a board, because otherwise his target that he's trying to seduce would sniff out rat immediately and run. Or make an excuse to go to the toilet, and any information that they had on said person would be destroyed in said toilet. Naruto would understand, get up, and ask if they can do it again. Kira would shake their head saying no, and just like that, Yugao, Tenzo return. The mission was simply to destroy a small bandit camp that was causing problems in Tanzakugai, which was literally a week away. They could have done it in 4 days, or even 3 days, but they needed to take their time, considering that they were hostages. And they had to take the hostages back to 2 different villages. One was Tanzakugai, and the other was, close to Tanzakugai. So they walked with civilians to where they needed to be. And Shinobi hopped all the way back to Konoha. When they found both Akira and Naruto, Naruto was talking to Akira, and Akira was pretty much in panties, and that was it. Yugao thought that they had both ended up fucking, so she was about to mollywop them both, until Akira basically told her about seduction missions, and was training Naruto into seducing someone, and she was going to start teaching him soon about resisting it. Basically telling her all about, teaching him about sex ed and all that, teaching him about the seduction. She even told him about the physical transformation, not a henge, the physical one that Naruto could actually pull off, which caused everybody to look at him in wide-eyed amazement. Naruto would blush. But now was time for something different, a mental checkup. Something that all newbie Onbu members have to do and go through with their masks on for confidentiality. 1 minute. Anyway, so in a room in a room somewhere near the Hokage Tower / Onbu headquarters. This room would be, well, not plain, but not dull either. There would be plants, pictures of animals, and all sorts. Just to keep the mind calm and relaxed. Done greatly by Tenzo, who made half of the plants there. As a woman with platinum blonde hair, or with almost brownish hair, not platinum blonde, would walk in. She would be in her early 40s at most. As she'd walk in, a girl with purple clothing would walk in as well, with platinum blonde hair done up in a ponytail. As the girl did seem more distracted than usual, mainly because she saw a redhead, and she couldn't help but admit to herself that, damn, that is some nice red hair, I wonder who she is, not knowing that men can have red hair too. The woman would say, hello, Kitsune-san, I am Yoshino Yamanaka, this is my daughter Ino Yamanaka. Naruto wouldn't show anything, the training of not showing emotion through, facial movement and body movement being, put to good use. But Yoshino Yamanaka noticed him slightly stiffen at hearing her daughter's name. She already knew that this was the Kyuubi vessel. And seeing this only made her smile slightly, knowing that no matter how much Tenzo had taught the boy, this was still his former classmate, and he is seeing her mother for the first time. Yoshino would just giggle, saying, calm down, Kitsune-san. I know this may be difficult for you, for this being your first time having a mental examination, because of your duty in Onbu. Hence why the mask. And, if this ever leaves your lips, I'll ground you for a month and seal your mouth shut with my own personal jutsu that makes that happen. Now pay attention. Ino would just sigh, saying, Mum, I don't need to be here. Sasuke-kun is with Forehead and I need to win his heart. Yoshino would only glare at her daughter, saying, that boy is nothing but a flight risk. Trust me, your father and I both disagree with you even having romantic feelings for him. I'd much rather you have romantic feelings for that Uzumaki boy. Naruto would kind of tilt his head one way and say, he acts as if he didn't like Naruto, saying, what's so special about the Uzumaki boy? He's just a loudmouth with pranking problems. Yoshino would look at him, narrowing her eyes that sort of say, what the hell are you talking about? I know who you are. I'm not stupid. Naruto would just shrug, saying, look, I have nothing against the boy himself, but Sasuke isn't that great either. Neither's the Uzumaki. Ino would shout, saying, how dare you say that about Sasuke-kun? Her mother giving her a glare that tells her once again to shut it. Naruto would just sigh, saying, look, I'm not here to tell your daughter who she can like or can't like. I would recommend finding someone else other than the avenging emo. Yoshino would just chuckle, knowing that her daughter is about to go on a rant about that. But she would stop her daughter before she does and saying, right, Have you felt anything off of late? As she begins the whole examination, Ino glaring at Naruto, not really knowing that it was Naruto, as Naruto would proceed in telling her all that he, thinks, knows, and honestly feels. Which was nothing really special. He's only been in Onbu for at least nearly 3 months now. This should only happen during, extreme amounts of stress. But Yoshino does ask a personal thing. Has his hormones been acting up recently, and has he been having urges to do something to his fellow ninja? Basically giving him the message that she's now trying to figure out if he's going to turn traitor soon. Because she knew that Onbu wasn't really the life for many people. Hell, she actually used to be Onbu, so she knew the signs to look for before she met Ino's dad. Hence why she no longer has the tattoo, because she didn't want her daughter to know that she used to be a lot better than her father. Naruto just blush underneath his mask and mumble something about his one of his teachers being slightly too perverted for her own good and forcing him to do stuff that was a little bit too out of his depths, even though it was for his own good. Yoshino would narrow her eyes and ask, "Can you describe who this person was? I will not say her name, because I have a feeling I know who she is." As he'd basically say it was, one of his fellow Onbu members named Wolf. Only giving the code name out because of Ino. Ino would go along and blab about the Wolf's real identity, and Wolf would be kicked out of Onbu because her name was revealed. Ino would only glare and ask what's with the Kitsune and Wolf nicknames. Yoshino would explain that this is actually code name for the Onbu. Onbu hide their names regardless of who they are. Their names must be immediately hidden. Their names wouldn't even be registered as killed in action if they were found out by enemies. They would be considered rogue. And Onbu do the most dangerous missions available. They also toughen you up to such an extent that you realise that even little baby crushes like yours on that damn Uchiha would only be that, a crush. Find a real man, Ino. Again, that Uzumaki kid is brilliant for you. Tsukino would just scoff, saying, "Yeah, right, that loser wouldn't even be able to find a way out of a kunai holster if he even tried." Naruto would just scoff, saying, "You have no idea what the Uzumaki boy can truly do." Him doing painting the Hokage mountain in that orange Kill Me jumpsuit, that was him training his stealth. We Onbu didn't even notice him until he screamed out "Good morning, Konoha," and he's been doing that for years. And we still couldn't figure out what he was doing until it was much too late. All those pranks was him doing his stealth skills. I bet you most probably find the blonde boy still running around doing that kind of stuff. But since he's, most probably in reserves, he's most probably cut down on it a lot. Just doing his general studies and all that. And Yoshino would look at him. Yoshino actually giving a wry smile and mouthing with a board over him, to the side so only he could see her mouth, saying, "You did that on purpose, Naruto." Naruto just shrug his shoulders and say, "Well, I guess you didn't think about it too well then, young Yamanaka." His voice, he had changed his voice a little bit to make it sound a little bit more gruff and deeper. Sure, he's the same age as Ino, but Ino hadn't picked up on that yet. So when Ino glares at him, she then realises, saying, "Wait, you're the same age as me anyway, so why are you giving me lip, shorty?" Naruto just stands, and Ino realises he's a little bit taller than her. He's taller than Shino by a good centimetre. is he just tells her, "Do you think Umbu's a joke? We see shit on a day-to-day basis. After 4 to 5 years, Umbu members leave to join regular forces because they couldn't take the blood anymore. I have killed 12 people already out on duty." A huge lie, considering Yoshino just said this is his first, but Ino didn't need to know that the lie was there. Hell, she wasn't even paying attention at the time. But when he said that he killed 12 people, Ino called him a murderer to his face. Naruto inwardly would cringe at being called a murderer, as he would sigh, saying, "Oh, and what do you think of the Uzumaki boy then? Everybody calls him a murderer, but he's done nothing. All he did was live his life. He's just a prankster, and that's it. Everybody calls him a murderer for what the Kyuubi did 12 years ago." But the point is, though, young Yamanaka, is that the boy did nothing wrong. He was just born on that day. He had nothing to do with the Kyuubi attack on that day either. He was just born. He was a newborn. They treat him like trash because of it. So you might want to think yourself lucky. You've actually had a decent life. Put yourself in Uzumaki Naruto's shoes for once and see how much he suffers. As he would walk away from Ino kind of wanted to cry, but she looked at her mother, who was just giving her the look, saying, "What he's telling you is true." Ino would just say, I need to go and find him to find out the truth." She would just run off. Yoshino would just sigh, saying, "You're going to have to quickly go into your blonde persona, right? And go and find my daughter?" As Naruto would look to her and sigh, "Do I have to? She's a loudmouth, more than me. She's more interested in Sasuke, the Avenger. The prick thinks that he's Kami's gift to the world. Naruto, I know about your little secret. Yugao told me when she came back from her mission. She was stressed because she was stressed about you. And I know Akira taught you all about your sex ed class. Trust me, I don't appreciate what she did. But she did it for a reason. And yes, I know about your little transformation point too. The Hokage knows about it as well. We're keeping all this under wraps. But if you tell my daughter something, you have to tell her that she has to swear her whole shinobi career and her whole life to secrecy. That's the only way to get her to shut up. Understand? Yoshino-san. Now, go into your blonde persona. Go. And make my daughter feel like she has missed out. Honestly, Naruto, you're much more of a shinobi than that Uchiha bastard would ever be. Go and win her heart. For me, please. You think this will be a good idea? I'm the hated brat of everybody. Everybody hates me because of it. Well, I assume the Hokage told you about the connection between me and the Kyuubi. No, he actually hasn't. Since it's my thing to say, I'll say it. But you, don't worry. I'm former Umbu, like I said. I know how to keep my lips sealed. I also know how to keep my legs sealed too. Unlike Akira. And again, I do apologise that you have to put up with that perverted Uchiha. Yeah, perverted's one way of saying it. Where do I start? From the beginning? As Yoshino would pull out another clipboard. All started when the Kyuubi met my mother. After explaining the whole thing, Yoshino's eyes are bugging out, and she just sputters. Oh my, Kami, you're the son of the Kyuubi? Shit. No wonder why you have it rough. Damn. No, I thought the villagers were stupid. They're just even more idiotic. They're attacking the Kyuubi's son. Hot damn. No wonder why you haven't turned on them yet. Phew. I would have done if I was in your shoes. Well, you're not. I've also got 9 tails and ears, and 2 ears. This is just an illusion. I don't want your clothes being ruined. But if you show them to Ino in your actual self, minus the Ombu gear, you may make her fall for you. What makes you say that? She's a fangirl. We women love cuddly things. Ino's just a girl. She's no different. If you say so. I've got to go into my idiot persona. Drop the mask of stupidity. Show her that you're not actually stupid. Sure. Just don't be surprised if your daughter comes screaming that Naruto was actually more smarter than the world. Just go, kiddo. Naruto was shunting away. Kushina would giggle, saying, "Oh, this is going to be good." Yeah, she would walk away. She would even throw a kunai into the ceiling as an Ombu member would drop, and I hate it when Danzo tries to listen in. And she would walk away as the corpse would burn in a blue hue. With Ino running down the street, looking everywhere, her hair whipping backwards and forwards, trying to actually find the blonde enigma, until she decided to go to the one place that she knows that the boy loves venturing to. The ramen shop. She'll make her way there, only to see Tucci and AM talking about their favourite customer, saying how he hasn't turned up for the last 3 months, and AM being rather concerned about him. Tucci understood, saying, "I'm sure Naruto's fine. He may have been put on a team." Ino just walks to them and says, "Well, he hasn't. He wasn't in class the day that the Genin test, or the Genin, were put in teams. He wasn't there." This makes them nervous, wondering if he had offed himself, because being a shinobi was what he dreamed. Ino asked where he lived. Both Tucci and AM looked down sadly, saying he lived in the red light district. An old decrepit building was where he used to live, or where he lives, not knowing that he moved into an Ombu. Well, into an Ombu bloody apartment building in the shinobi district. So Ino would run to the red light district, her mother following her from the roof. She would bump into, well, Shikamaru and Choji, but both of them were too busy doing their own thing, so they wouldn't have truly paid much attention to her. She bumped into Asuma, who simply chuckled at her, seeing her in a rush. But he didn't note where she was going. His eyes do narrow, saying, "What was she up to? I'll find out later." As he has a distraction by a certain red-eyed Junin, who was walking in the street with her own team. When Ino finally got to Naruto's apartment, she noticed the words "Die Demon," "Go to Hell," written all along the walls towards his door. And seeing it busted in and everything a wreck. Ino feared the worst. She looked all over the place, until she'd hear, "Ah, man, they ruined my place again." She'd pop her head out from the corner and see him, perfectly fine. Hideous orange jumpsuit, too. She would walk over to him and ask him if he's okay, what happened, and does this always happen? Naruto, acting confused, would ask, "Why is she here?" Ino would say that she met an Ombu who was speaking rather highly of him. Obviously hiding the fact that her mother, and she was with her mother, as her mother was teaching her all about psychology, saying that if you know the mind of a person, it'll be easier to navigate through their memories. And it also helps understand what kind of security measures their mind may or may not have when she enters. So Ino pretty much told Naruto all that. Naruto would sigh, saying, well, inwardly to his father, that Yoshino was right, her daughter's a loudmouth and would spill most probably her brass eyes to anybody if they asked the right question. Kurama just silently chuckling, saying, oh, you have no idea that this is the woman that you're destined to mate with. But he didn't tell his son that. Yes, it's Ino. I'm sorry, but it was obvious with the eyes that were blue. Who else do you know has blue eyes? So yeah. So after Ino's a random amount of questions, Naruto would ask again, what's she doing here? Obviously, Ino would explain again about her being with her mother. Not Sakura. Ino would then be cut off by saying, I know that part, but why did you come to my apartment? I was in the training grounds, training to get ready to be put on a reserve team, if anybody had lost a teammate or something like that. Ino would just mouth, oh. Then loudly say, how was I meant to know? Naruto would just, basically put his little finger in his ear, saying, ask? You might have figured it out then? Ino grit her teeth, saying, don't you give me lip, Uzumaki? But then Ino would calm, should breathe in, out, and ask him, a question. A question that he knew was coming. Why do people hate you so much? Naruto would think about lying until Yoshino just said, don't lie to her. Show her how smart you actually are. As Naruto would sigh, saying, right. As he shut the door, as Ino would watch him go through hand signs, then slap his hand on the wall, this whole wall would go red, then blue. Ino would look at him and ask him, what is he doing? As Naruto would say, right, what I'm going to tell you is is an SS ranked secret about myself. Ino, before you say something about the walls, I put a silencing seal and a security seal. Nobody can get in here unless they know how to break both at the same time. 1. I'm a lot smarter than I looked. The reason why I acted dumb was because I was constantly getting sabotaged in the academy. I was bottom of the rank because of that sabotagation. When I had a test from the Hokage the night that the Genin test finished, he found out I should have finished at the age of 9. I'm a lot better than Sasuke in that department. Everything that I had through the entire years I was in the academy was for nothing. I'm a smart individual. Sure, I'm still dense about a few things, but I'm still quite smart. And let me tell you this, Ino. At 9 years old, I most probably would have already been Genin. And at 12, Chunin. Heck, today I should actually be Chunin if I actually did finish at 9 and then go into the Shinobi program at 9. Call me prodigy? Prodigy? Sure. Not all prodigies, though, get the spotlight. Look at Itachi Uchiha, he was a prodigy, and he got the spotlight. There are plenty of other prodigies that don't get the spotlight. Like Guy, for instance. Guys, you don't need to meet Guy, hopefully. I've met the guy, and he is scary. Mainly because of his massive eyebrows. And green spandex. And constantly screaming about youth or something like that. And trust me, the guy's freaky. But a good man, someone who would defend his comrades regardless of who they are. But that doesn't explain why you have a double S rank secret about yourself. Kyuubi, what do you know about him? Would ignore the whole him, as if the thing had a gender. Xeno would just growl slightly. I don't know too much about it, but I do know that it was destroyed when the fourth sacrificed his life to kill it. That's not true. That's a whole ton of crap that the Sandaime told everybody to keep me safe. Why? I have the Kyuubi sealed inside me. Now before you freak out, does the kunai become the scroll when it's sealed inside? Or does the kunai become the scroll? Or does the scroll become the kunai? What does this have to do with it? It's a simple question. Answer it, Well, no, it doesn't become the kunai. The scroll's just a scroll. You can take something out and put something in. Precisely. I am a scroll. The fox is a kunai. I keep the kunai at bay. Sure, it's a sentient kunai, loud and obnoxious, and a little bit perverted, but I keep it at bay. I am what you call a Jinchuriki. Someone who holds the power of the Nine Tails, otherwise known as a human sacrifice. Trust me when I say this, I'm no threat to this village. I wish to defend it. I even spoken to the Kyuubi, and the Kyuubi said he never wanted to attack. Kyuubi is a he, All beasts, everything has genders. Plants have genders. Animals have genders. People have genders. Demons have genders. The nine-tailed Biju, there are 2 female Biju. One's perverted. And that's him talking about her. And I'm telling you this, you have to swear on not only your shinobi career, but your own life, because your life will end if you spill it. That you never spill. Because if you do, you die. So, would gulp. That threat was not a lingering one. That threat was a promise to get killed. Xeno would just sit down and say, why tell me this? Because you wanted to know why. And I'm telling you the truth. Smack bang, right here, right now. I'm not a demon. I never was. The villagers hate me because they think I'm the Kyuubi. Do you see anything wrong with me? Do you see 9 tails bursting out of my backside? Fox ears on my head, twitching every which way, me blowing up everything, other than nearly blowing up myself with a tag earlier today? No, I don't see anything wrong with you. Precisely. You don't. You actually see me for what I actually am. A person. Or like I said, a scroll, holding a very dangerous kunai. 9 tails to be precise. But hey, you get the message. Right. I don't know what to say. Here's something you can say. I understand. And I understand I can't say this to anybody. Right. I understand I won't say it to anybody. I promise. On my shinobi career and my life, I will not say it. Thank you. If you want to leave, you can do. I'll drop it immediately. And plus, if your team finds out about this, you have to tell them to promise to absolute secrecy their shinobi careers and their lives. If they spill, they die. This is on the Sandaime's orders. I understand. Good. Now, you want to go get some lunch with me, or? Sure. I'll go and get some food with you. BBQ? Sure, why not? Choji's parents like me there anyway. So the seals would come down. Naruto would walk with Ino, not even bother locking the door, considering it'll just get broken down again. As Ino would walk with Naruto, a lot of things still on her mind. Naruto would allow her to consume everything that she needs to know. Yoshino, who had snuck into the building and knew that Naruto knew that she was there, would be on the building, hopping from roof to roof, smiling. Knowing that her daughter is going to come to her and tell her that she found out everything. She knew that her daughter was a loudmouth and nothing would stop her from spilling. But she'd come to her mother first. And since she now knows the truth, she may actually have questions. Questions that only she could answer. And she was waiting for that day. And when, Ino and Naruto entered BBQ, Choji's parents, his mum and his dad, Choza, would see Naruto. Choja would smile. His wife would smile too. His wife would actually walk up and give Naruto a hug, saying, "It's good to see you again, Naruto. It's been some time." Choza would ruffle up his hair a little bit, noticing something off about his hair. It seemed rather flat into certain areas. Now, he had a sneaking suspicion that something was off about Naruto himself. If he had a certain mutation that he was hiding, such as foxes and tails, he wouldn't care. He sees Naruto as himself. He doesn't see Naruto as the fox. And this is honestly just Choza here. He's a big softie when he needs to be. So when Naruto walks in, gets all that from the BBQ restaurant owners, him and Ino sit down in a corner. Coincidentally, it's a corner that her team was sitting at when they first had their meetings. So Choja would bring over the food. He'd even sit on a chair facing both Ino and Naruto, wanting to catch up with Naruto. While Ino was mulling over everything that she was told, Choza and Naruto were having an eye conversation. When Choza flicked his eye over to Ino, his eyebrow was slanted slightly. Naruto basically did some hand signals where Choza could see, saying through hand signs that he had told Ino about his status. And she's currently mulling over it, trying her best to not scream and run in fright. Choza would nod and just simply say, "So, what have you been up to? I heard you didn't pass, but been put on reserves instead." Naruto would explain all about the Mizuki incident. When he met Choza after he had, gotten out of Onbu for a day because, they needed a day off from training, just for a bit. The day that Tiger and Nico went off to do their mission, he bumped into Choza before he went to Kira's apartment to have a sex ed class. And Choza told him to come over one day and talk to him, because he was actually quite scared, seeing that he wasn't in any genin team. So they were busy catching up. Choza got the meaning that when he was placed in reserve, he said reserves in a way that gave it away that he wasn't just put in reserves, he was put somewhere where he could do good behind the curtains. Choza could only smirk as they both would just talk. Ino would then butt in a few times, talking with them as well, which made Choza happy, considering that she had chosen to keep the secret, as Choza would just simply mouth to them both, well, to Ino saying, I already know about him, and I see him for him. It's good that you're starting to see him for him as well, not the beast he contains. Choza not actually knowing that Naruto is actually the son of the guy, so, yeah. Ino just smiles, not saying that Naruto is the son of Kyuubi, because, hell, in fact, she actually doesn't know either. I should really say this, she doesn't know either. Naruto never even told her the fact that he was the son of Kyuubi. And with all that said, Ino would have some BBQ with Naruto, and she would actually like it. Naruto wasn't too boisterous now. He also wasn't too, well, loud and brash, saying he will be Hokage. He still says he will be Hokage, but he needs to get himself more recognized first. He needs to train more. He needs to figure himself out. He needs to up his skills and arsenal to be considered even a good Hokage. Not knowing that to both of them, he sounds like a Hokage. He's not only that, he's giving them both advice. Not knowing that actually makes him more of a Hokage candidate than he ever knew. By the way, I was stealing some sort of wording there, so I do apologise. That is also from, I believe, his name was Fox Sage 2.0. So, quick shout out to him for that one. So, yeah. After that, Ino and Naruto, regardless of Choza's, well, comments, would eventually leave after a good 3 hours of talking to the guy. Sure, the guy's plump as hell, but he's a softie. Ino now knowing where Choji gets his kindness from. Both his mum and dad are extremely nice and extremely polite. So when Ino walks out with Naruto offers to walk her home. Ino's heart just starts beating, like, out of the blue. Like, why is my heart beating? It's never beaten like this before. Not even near Sasuke-kun did it beat like this. Ino would shyly say, yeah, sure, why not? And they'd both walk home. Well, he would walk her home. When Ino got home, she thanked him and walked into her house. Naruto shunned away. When Ino got in, Yushido was there with 2 cups of tea, one for her and one for Ino. Sit. You have questions and I can see it. Sit. Your father won't be home for another couple of hours. So, Ino would sit. Yoshino would ask, do you now know? Ino would nod. Yoshino would sip some of her tea, Ino following. Soon after, Yoshino would see Ino's hand shaking. She'd put a teacup down, and she'd say, I saw the hatred in the villager's eyes. Yoshino would sadly nod. They're fools. They don't see the hero that he was meant to be. Ino would ask, Mum, why did you want me to go for Naruto? Yoshino would just simply grin, saying, Honey, Naruto's a boy. A special boy. He can make any girl special. He's kind, polite. He'll put his life out on the line. The Hyuga girl likes him. Hell, we can all see that she stutters every time his name comes up. But she stutters all the time. But even more so, she blushes when his name's brought up. But she sees him as an idol, something that she can look at but never touch. She claims it's a crush, and everybody, apart from me, thinks it's a crush. Well, no, it's a crush. Me, it's her idolizing him. His strength, his willingness never to give up and push forward. It attracted her to him and made her think that he is something to aspire to. And she struggles with that. She eludes herself thinking that it's more than just her idolizing him. Then why doesn't she say she can't? Her family doesn't like Naruto either. The Hyugas frown upon her, so her self-confidence is low. The Hyuga also frown upon Naruto, thinking him nothing more than a plague, because of the Kyuubi. But he's not a plague. Tell that to the Hyuga. They don't care. But Naruto's special, I know. You know, there's a lot of things about Naruto that nobody knows. I saw it when I was talking to him. He has a few secrets that he can't tell. He refuses to tell. Right. I get it. He wants me to keep it secret. Not only him, I do. I know all about him. When he was 5, Ino. He doesn't remember what happened at 5 years old, but I do. Ino. Look at me when I say this. You're going to feel sick, but hear me out. Before the Uchiha massacre, villagers hunted him constantly. And every time they cornered him, they would beat him and stab him within an inch of his life. The Kyuubi helped Naruto as much as it could. Before I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to. Before I left Onbu, this is when you were 5 yourself, by the way. Before I left, hints I was gone a lot of the time. Claimed it was just part of my job, but I'll be gone for a while. It was a lie. I used to be part of Onbu. I used to be an Onbu member. And this was my code name, Light. Lightbird. Or Light for short. I was also called Swallow, but... And I mean the bird swallow, not that kind of swallow, you know. I saved Naruto that day. But the beating was so bad. He had put up a very hostile front. He was hostile towards everybody because he was so scared. I had to reveal my face to him to get anywhere close to him. And I had to inject him with a knockout serum to knock him out so I could place memory blockers on that memory. But I had help that day. Kyuubi. Kyuubi was sleeping, but I could tell that he was truly concerned for the boy. I saw a mental image of the boy in his subconsciousness, and that Kyuubi had planted his tails around him, small enough not to hurt or to kill, but cuddled the boy. The Kyuubi is a very delicate being. And what I could hear from its grumblings was, I will protect, I will protect, I will protect. He wanted to protect. That's the second time you called it a he. First Naruto, now you. Because I believe the Biju has a gender. All Bijus have genders, regardless of what they say. They all have a gender. But now, I'm saying this, you know. When I looked into the memory, the boy wasn't only stabbed, punched, hit with hammers, knives, forks, pitchforks, baseball bats. The boy was raped. As you know, his mouth would be covered, as her face would, well, her cheeks would turn green. Yoshino would pass her a bucket, and she'd just throw up in it. She'd tip it out into the bin, she'd just throw it out into somewhere, an alleyway somewhere. Yoshino would watch as her daughter would sit down, her hair pale, her whole body pale really, after hearing that Naruto at the age of 5 was raped. Who did it? The Uchihas? As Ino's eyes would widen, but Sasuke-kun's clan would... That clan is nothing more than jutsu-stealing pricks who think they can get away with anything. The only one who wasn't a prick until he decided to slaughter the entire clan was Itachi. And let me tell you this, Ino. Itachi was damn well a good off ninja than his own brother. He never allowed his ego to go to his head. He never allowed it. The village caters to Sasuke. They make him feel like a prince, that he could do no wrong. But Naruto, they would spit on his grave. Hell, they wouldn't even spit. They would piss on his grave, dig up his corpse and piss on it, before carving it into pieces. His Inos feel green again, and that's the worst of it, Ino. That's not the worst of it. This happened when he was 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way up to his final years in the academy. He was punched, kicked. He was stabbed all the time. The Kyuubi always healed him. He's lucky to survive. But Mum, it's... I don't know what to say. Understand him. Yoshino would smile. But what do you think of him, truly? I don't know why everybody hates him. He told me about his tenant. At first I was scared, but when he told me that he was a scroll that holds a kunai, does the kunai become the scroll when it's sealed inside? Or does it still remain the scroll, with the kunai inside the scroll, sealed? Once he told me like that, I kind of understood that he was just a scroll. The fox was the kunai. He contains the kunai, not the other way around. Very good. But your true feelings on the matter? I feel sorry for him. But not only that, when he offered to bring me home, my heart felt like it was about to burst. Mum, was that true? Is it true love that I'm feeling? Yoshino would only grin. A little actual smile. It's not just love. You feel attached. He's treating you like he would treat anybody else, with respect. He respects you for your skills. And he respects you because of the clan that you come from. He respects all, including the Hyuga, who, in all intents and purposes, do not deserve the respect that they get. They're all pompous and idiotic, apart from Hinata, that I've discovered. That Hinata's the only one who's not an absolute idiot. And let me tell you this, Ino. What you're feeling for him is what the heart craves. You see Naruto as Naruto, and he sees you as you. And what your heart is feeling and telling you to feel is what you're truly feeling. You admire him, but there's something telling you there that it's more than just admiring. He has suffered. Your heart knows he suffers. Your heart also knows that it must reach out a lifeline to him. Follow your feelings, and I promise you this, Ino. You'll feel more love than you could possibly imagine. Thank you, Mum. I'm going to bed now. See you in the morning, sweetheart. And that is where I'm ending it, guys. Hope you like, comment, and subscribe. See you all in the next one. Peace.